Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jeff with Fluent American back once more here on Christmas Eve with you, helping you to craft your accent, expand your pronunciation, and everything related to American English. What are you guys doing here? It's almost Christmas if you're celebrating. Whether you're watching on the replay or you're joining us live, thank you for checking us out. Coming up, let us know. By the way, I have a poll going on. I want to know how many people are you going to see for the holiday? Even if you're not celebrating Christmas, let me know how many people you're going to see tomorrow in your family. And right now, we have 6 votes in, and half of them are saying you're going to see 11 or more people. That's wild to me. I'm going to see it's me, my wife, my son, my aunt, my brother, his girlfriend, and my uncle, and my mom and my dad. How many people is that? I think it's like less than 10, I think. um, that's my guess. And oh yeah, Emmanuel was telling me about that in Romania, they actually have carolers that like go door to door, and you have to like listen to them. And I don't want to say like have to. It should be something fun. I hope something you enjoy. But carolers going to the door, so definitely understand. Hopefully, they're good at singing. Um, if they're not good at singing, do they get less of a tip? Like if people are really good at singing, do you give them more of a tip? Manuel, I have questions. Let me know how this works. So many questions. And let me know if you guys have other traditions going on for Christmas. If there's like a specific meal that you guys do, or if there's something that you always like some weird family tradition, or maybe there's a cultural tradition that's been done for 1,000 years that you're just like we must do this some more. But yeah, keep me informed in the poll and things like that. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be again listening to pronunciation files that you send here. In case you're joining us for the first time, by the way, if you are joining us for the first time, let us know. Say something in the chat. Just say, hey, you can disappear again after that, but we want to know if you're here. Um, let's just kind of take a quick look, though, at how can you send in your own pronunciation files to get some feedback for yourselves. So this is what you need. This is the document. You can find this in the video description, but I'll also do you a favor too in the chat box. You guys will see that in a moment. So this is a document that you need to go to. And once there, you'll see it's a Google Doc. Some people have already sent in files, which is great. And it's helpful if you want to put your name, but not necessary to if you're trying to stay anonymous. I understand. But you're going to see that it invites you to take a look at a website called Vocaroo.com. Now, Vocaroo.com looks something like this. The first time you log in, you'll probably see like a big red button here. So that way you can record yourself. You can do this on your phone or on your computer if you have a microphone. You record yourself. You're going to click save. Then you're going to see this screen. Down here, you're going to see this link. You take this link and you put it, you copy and paste it into this Google Doc or Sheets, and we'll see it.
Several months ago, my goal was to find a new job. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Okay. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay. And play it one more time.
I keep changing my plans over and over again. Several months ago, my goal was to find a new job. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Okay. So I have some ideas on some things I want to say. Just a quick note though, for Elchin, they don't celebrate Christmas. What is the dominant religion there? If you don't mind, what's the dominant faith background? Wasn't sure if it was Orthodox or not. But going back here,
I keep changing my plans over and over again.
let's kind of
Several
pause
months
it
ago,
there.
I keep changing my plans over and over again.
Keep changing my plans over and over again. I keep changing my plans over and over again. Keep changing my plans over and over again. Changing my plans. So I think I like your stress on plans. I don't know if I would add a stress on again, and I feel like that is something that I'm hearing. Okay. Oh, I wasn't aware. Okay, so it's a Muslim country. Cool, cool, cool. I don't know why I thought it would be more orthodox. Interesting. Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
I keep changing my plans over and over again. So
Because you hear that, because that rhythm is I keep changing my plans over and over again versus I keep changing my plans over and over again. I keep changing my plans over and over again. That's personally how I would have read that. But again, that's just me. Um, keep changing my plans. I don't think you need to stress on again. Besides that,
I keep changing my plans over and over again.
I like that in general, the rhythm I like a lot. And hello to Dustin checking in. Great to see you, sir. Yeah, thanks for being with us here today. Um, I like the general rhythm because I don't think you're stressing a whole lot of words. I'm really just besides again and plans, which is great. It's like I keep changing my plans. That's sequence I really like a lot. I like how you're saying plans. That can be a tricky combination to say with that a sound plus that n. Um, also like how you're reducing keep. Like I keep changing. I keep changing.
I keep changing
Hear how short the keep is there. I think that's a very natural reduction. Let's take a look at the next part.
my plans over and over again. Several months ago, my goal is to find a new job.
7 months ago, my goal. 7 months ago, my goal.
Several months ago, my goal is to
Thing in terms of pitches, I think we could increase the variety here because kind of getting like a go, my goal. I do think you're going a little higher on goal, but they're pretty similar there. So I would experiment with maybe several months ago, my goal. Something there I think needs to get a heavier stress, whether it's months or whether it's goal. Like several months ago, my goal, or several months ago, my goal. Like I think one of those two patterns would be a little bit more frequent.
again. Several months ago, my goal is to find a new job.
7 months ago, my goal was to find a new job. 7 months ago, my goal was 7 months ago. I could really see either of those patterns where the stress is heavier on months or on goal. So I think you have a lot of choice there in terms of what words you want to stress.
Several months ago, my goal is to find a new job.
Find a new job.
Months ago, my goal is to find a new job.
My goal is to find a new job. My goal is to find a new job. My goal is to find a new job. I think you could reduce find a little bit, lower the pitch more, just to kind of give you some more chance to flow. Because otherwise, you kind of get the duh, the duh, the duh. But by not having that stress on find, you can kind of flow a little bit more.
Months ago, my goal is to find a new job.
Some of that is also just intonation patterns. You did it several months ago. My goal is to find a new job. So less of flowing intonation. Duh, 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 duh. Maybe we could have some rising intonation. Several months ago, you could go rising intonation on a go. My goal, you could use a rising intonation on goal. Find a new job. Um, so I just think you need like one or two rising intonations there to get a more natural rhythm.
Several months ago, my goal is to find a new job.
Watch out for job. I feel like in American English, you're more likely to get a little bit more of an ah sound. Job, job. It's a job, more job.
Goal is to find a new job.
It's a job, more job. A little more open, a little lower.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Watch out for focus. That second syllable on focus very often gets more like a short I sound than a schwa sound. So focus, more focus, focus, like saying kiss. Focus, focus. I feel like that's a more natural way of hearing that in American English.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
No, I need to feel that I need to focus more on my family. Again, some stresses that I think the general rhythm here, I mean, very clear, very understandable. I'm imagining again, if we were saying this in a conversation, what would it sound like? And I think something that would help this sound more conversational, if that's the goal, would be something like this.
Up. Now I feel that I
Now I feel you could stress now, like now I feel that. So months ago, but now I feel, it's something like that.
now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family. Maybe a little higher pitch on family.
I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Maybe even higher, slightly higher on my family. On my family. Focus more on my family. Or, I think the general rhythm there was actually okay.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
I need to focus more on my family. Maybe actually going lower. So I would either go higher on family or maybe even a step lower. Focus more on my family. Focus more on my family. Or focus more on my family. Focus more on my family. One of those options I think can give you a slightly more natural rhythm, honestly.
To find a new job. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family.
Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family. Now I feel that I need to focus more on my family. Another thing too that you can consider with when you're speaking is pauses. I've mentioned things like this previously, but I think pauses are an underutilized tool, especially when it comes to language learners. You know, it's not that native speakers are constantly talking, 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 and there's no breaking. No, there's pauses. You know, so there are places where we can pause and it still sounds natural. Um, and there are places where you can pause where it sounds less natural, specifically like in between sentences. You know, just because you have a period doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a long pause. But I would say, you know, inside of sentences, you know, you could do like now I feel that I need to focus more on my family, you know, something like that. Now I feel that pause. I need to focus more on my family. Notice I added a there a pause between my and family. So I would just kind of experiment with pauses in the middle of sentences. And I think that that can also help one add contrast because you're adding you're breaking the rhythm up, you know, when you're pausing, and that's in general not a bad thing. That's how people, you know, understand you better. But in addition to that, just opportunities to breathe, opportunities to kind of just make your sentence a little bit more dynamic.
Process. I'm gonna say a few words here and let's see how it sounds. Water. Hello. Literally. 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 Girl. Girl. Alright. Alright. I was had trouble pronouncing these few words. Apple. Pool. 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 Kill. Kill. And call. Yeah, thanks. Hope you guys have a nice day.
Oh, thank you. Hope you have a nice day. That was so sweet to add at the end. That was really nice. I like that. That's great. Okay, so it seems like you're really kind of focusing on the words. So I'm gonna go to the end of that file, assuming I can find it again. I think it was that long one. Um, Actually, let's see if there's anything in the
Alright,
beginning.
so I'm gonna try my best to sound like I don't have an accent. I definitely do sound a bit cringy right
You
now,
don't sound
but
cringy. You don't
I
have to worry
guess
about
it's
that.
part of the process. Process.
Process, yeah, process. Let me find those words.
Literally.
I got some good ones. There was some that we missed.
Hello. Water.
That's not pretty good there. Okay, so we'll start with water.
Water.
Water. Honestly, you could go even weaker on that fast D sound if you want. It doesn't even have to be that strong. Water. So again, that first word he said was water. That ER is just water. Now let's hear that again.
Water.
Water. That's fine. You know, I think if you use that in daily life, I think you can still sound pretty. I think you sound pretty natural with that. You could experiment with weakening that fast D sound as well. So instead of water, you know, you could also do water. Or if you go to Philadelphia, where I'm from, we say like water. But water's fine. I like that.
Water. Hello.
Hello. You're getting a little closed off there on that O sound. It's like hello versus hello. Hello. Watch my lips there when I'm saying that. I'll make myself bigger for a moment. Okay, so hello. Notice how straight my lips are there. Hello. So say hello, hello, hello. Can you hear the difference there? You can finish with round lips. That's not necessarily a problem. You could do hello, hello, hello. But when I'm doing that, I'm making sure to keep the placement low and lots of breath flowing through my throat. If you limit the breath, like if you block the breath or you cause your placement to shift towards your lips, you're going to end up with a sound more like hello when you round your lips. So that's one of the reasons why I often tell students just to keep the lips straighter because it can be a little easier to keep that placement lower. But if you want to experiment with those round lips too, you can. Just keep the again placement low and the breath flowing. So watch out just for that O sound at the end of hello. Hello.
Water. Hello. Literally.
Literally. What it sounds like to me is that kind of doing like that, literally, where our placement is almost kind of trapped up here, like in our jaw and our mouth area, literally. So I would experiment. I would say, hey, can you say literally 5 times and like go down each time? So like literally. Maybe even try to take it even lower. Literally. See how low you can take it. But I think that experiment with that placement a little bit can help you arrive at a place that might sound a little bit more natural because it sounds a little high. I do like that you are getting the vowel sounds very clear and it's not getting blocked off by any of your consonants. But I just think the placement's a little too high. Not enough breath is coming through.
Sounds. Water. Hello. Literally.
Literally, especially for the ole part. Yeah, so one of the things too that we're seeing is, a lot of these words have dark L's. That's one thing a lot of these words have in common. So I'm guessing that for your dark L sound, you may be kind of tensing things up or raising your placement. But remember a dark L sound is going to be more uh. You can always see my lips there a little open. Uh. And so my placement is low and my breath is again lots of breath coming through. That's just a note on that. Let's hear some more of these.
Literally. Literally.
Do you hear that? You can also hear that on the lee part. It's like lee. Your E sound is becoming really tense and high as well. You can hear that lee versus lay. Can you hear the difference between lee and lay? Hear that difference? That's again, mine has a lower placement, yours is a little higher.
Literally.
Lee, lay, lower placement, more breath.
Literally.
Same thing there. Again, the fast E sound can be pretty fast. It doesn't have to be lidder. It's more litter.
Girl.
Okay, for girl,
Girl.
that R is just going missing. There's an MIA. We are just dropping that R sound almost completely. Where'd it go? We have to find it. So I would say for girl, see, I would do this progression. We actually have a video that talks specifically about this word and the word world, just because they're so frequently causing problems for people. So I would practice just doing make sure we can do that sound. Back of my tongue is high. Front of your tongue can be high or low. In my case right now, that's the tip of my tongue against the bottom of my mouth. So then once you feel comfortable with that, you can then add a slight G sound before it. It's like gur. And then we need to get from that sound and that gur sound to an sound. So maybe actually it would be easier to just try doing an sound to an It's like Earl. Notice there my lips. Not a whole lot of movement going on, right? Earl. Okay, and my placement's staying in the same spot, still projecting low, lots of breath moving through my throat. Earl. And then we can add that G sound back in. Girl. It's like Earl, girl. Earl, girl. Earl, girl. If you find that you're doing girl, that's the sign that our R is too weak. If we're doing Earl, girl, that's the sign that our R sound is too strong, that is tensing everything up and blocking too much breath. Okay, so just a note that you can try to use to practice a little bit there.
All right.
That sounded pretty good.
Girl. All right.
Yeah, but I like that. Lots of breath coming through. I didn't think your dark L was blocking off as much air there, which is great. That sounds pretty good.
Girl. All right.
No, I like the first way you said it better. All right. Don't drag. All right. Another thing you want to really be focusing on too is when you have words with multiple syllables, trying to identify, what is the stressed syllable, because that's going to dictate how you say the word. In all right, the stress is on right. Okay, so that means that all part, you want it to be fast and you want it to be weak. You also want it to have a lower pitch, so it's not all right. English is not a very democratic language. If you're not stressed, you have no power. You get no vote, nothing. So, you can make that first syllable way weaker and you can make that second syllable a lot stronger. So it's not all right, it's all right. All right. That first syllable is so fast and so weak. It's just kind of something to keep in mind there for all right.
All right. I've always had trouble pronouncing these few words.
You can also hear your dark L too, especially on the word trouble, a little heavy there. Trouble versus trouble. So again, more breath coming through. Try not to block as much air. Try to keep your placement low.
Apple.
Again, we see that again. Apple, apple. Fool. Again, dark L. Really tense, really high. Fool. pool, pool. I would also, it could also be that your oo sound is tense as well. So I would practice saying like oo, pool, or like oo, fool. Those words to make sure it's not just the dark L, but it's also your oo sound. The oo is really tricky because, most languages have an oo sound. So making sure that you're not switching back to your first language oo, which I'm guessing is maybe more of an ooh or like things like that, a little higher, with maybe tighter around lips, like ooh, versus in American English. So just a note about that.
Pool, kill.
Kill wasn't bad. I would practice like ill, kill, ill, kill, ill, kill. But in general, I thought you got more breath on that one than you did on some of those ooh words, which is good.
Kill, and call. Yeah,
Call wasn't bad. You can maybe even get a touch more air through, but overall that was pretty good. Call.
and call. Yeah, thanks. Hope you guys have a nice day.
Thank you. All right. I think, dark L sounds definitely would recommend. That's going to be my biggest suggestion there. If you only had one word to practice out of all those, then I would choose girl because your R sound is just missing. Hello, Tanena. Thanks for the well wishes. Merry Christmas to you as well if you're celebrating. Let us know what your plans are for the holidays. By the way, guys, so again, we do have our poll going up. How many family members are you going to see? We have now a tie. Some people are going to see 1 to 2 people tomorrow, and some people are going to see the other biggest group of people are going to see 6 to 10 people. So our 11 plusers, not as many. So just a note on that. I do want to take a quick moment, guys. Let us know again what's going on for Christmas and things. But maybe you are finding this really helpful, but maybe you also want to get practice with me every single day of the week. Well, there's a couple different ways to do that. One of the first things that we have is a group called Mission English. Mission English is a stream. Basically, it's a live stream that we have for what's going to be more than 30 minutes Monday through Friday. In fact, this is actually our schedule starting in January. I'm finalizing when it's going to start. It's probably going to be around the 3rd or the 4th. But this is what's going to be happening in Mission English. We're going to be doing 30-minute live streams twice a day at different times. So that way we can try to hit your time zone. So whatever your times work for you, we're trying to do it at least 3 times a week. So for instance, if that 1:30 time is good for you, where we're doing a 1:30 p.m. New York time on Monday, we're doing that again on Tuesday, we're doing that again on Friday. Maybe the evening times in the US work better for you. So we have an 8 o'clock on Monday, we have an 8 o'clock on Wednesday, and we have an 8 o'clock on Thursday. So all these times, you get 3 options. We also have a conversation class included once a week on Thursdays. So this is all happening in a program that we call Mission English. I just kind of want to highlight for you guys one sec before we describe it a little bit more. And so basically there's a chance there you can join me on stream. You're over there, I'm here, and then there's a couple other students in the group as well, and we all get to answer questions. And one of the advantages of it too is that, if you take a one-on-one class, in some ways, there's a disadvantage because you don't really know what you sound like because you need to listen to the recording. Because what happens in one-on-one classes is I say something and then you repeat me, and then I say, "Oh, that's not. We need to make some changes," and you say yes, okay, but then in your head you're like, "But I said it the same way you did, Jeff. Why do we? What was different?" But then you listen to yourself in the recording and you're like, "No, that wasn't me. It couldn't have been me." So what I would say is that, that's why the group class is great, because you hear other people and you hear my feedback for them, and then you can actually notice the difference a lot more easily. And plus, it's just a lot more fun because it's just, one-on-one is kind of just, you and a teacher, we get work done, but it's, I think it's a lot more entertaining and enjoyable when there's other people. We track our progress, we congratulate each other and things like that. So again, Mission English, definitely recommend it. Okay, who is this?
A zealous fanatic, you call me the serpent who first presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife, and so gained the opportunity to seduce the husband.
Wow, that was quite impassioned.
A zealous fanatic, you call me the serpent who first presented the fruit of the wife, and so gained the opportunity to seduce the husband.
Okay. I feel like there's a lot happening here. Let's listen again.
A zealous fanatic,
I would not have, if the text were not here, I don't know if I would have caught this as being zealous.
a zealous fanatic,
Almost sounds like one. Okay, so the first thing is it almost sounds like one syllable, like Zos. That's almost what I feel like I'm hearing. Zos
a zealous fanatic,
versus zealous. So I need clearer syllables. Notice that second syllable will have more of a short I followed by that S. Like a zealous fanatic, and I would have stressed zealous. I would not have stressed fanatic. A zealous fanatic.
a zealous fanatic,
And I do think you stress fanatic, so I just need excuse me. I do think you're not stressing fanatic. You're not stressing fanatic. Excuse me. But I do need zealous to have two syllables more clearly demarcated.
a zealous fanatic, you call me the serpent.
How about that would have as well?
A zealous fanatic, you call.
I'm not hearing a zealous fanatic would have. That's the words that your listener is probably going to be listening for. If it's would have, like a zealous fanatic would have, a zealous fanatic would have, a zealous fanatic would have. So something like that is the progression I was more expecting.
Zealous fanatic, you call me the serpent.
Because I'm definitely not hearing the would have called. I'm not hearing the would at all. So just a note there on the pronunciation.
You call me the serpent.
Call me the serpent. So you're using resonation there?
Fanatic, you call me the serpent who first.
Serpent. You could have weakened like your first syllable on serpent, that R.
Call me the serpent.
Sir sounds great. I really like that R sound. R can be such a tricky letter. So I always like to bring that up when I hear a nice R sound. But that second syllable, just watch out. I would use more short ice, like int, serpent. Would call me the serpent. Would have called me the serpent.
Serpent.
Because I feel like a serpent versus serpent. Just a note.
Call me the serpent who first presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Fruit of my poetry to the wife.
To the wife. This kind of has a little bit of a choppiness to it. The consonants are a little heavy.
Presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
The fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Who first presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife. Okay. Elchin says that they have a grammar question. Feel free to ask it, Elchin. I love grammar. I didn't do a pronunciation channel. I would have done a grammar channel, but there's already so many grammar channels out there.
The fruit of my poetry to the wife.
So some opportunities where you can kind of smooth this out and weaken some of your consonants. Presented the fruit. So notice there, presented the. I can go a little smoother there, linking that presented that id sound with that th on the. Presented the. Fruit of my poetry. It's like fruit of my. So again, that's another place where you could just kind of weaken the consonants a little bit with that fast D sound on fruit of. Okay, so instead of fruit of, more fruit of, a really weak fast D sound. There is another option if you're trying to smooth things out.
To the wife, and so again.
To the wife, that's another option too. It's like to the wife. It doesn't have to be to the wife.
And so again, that presented the fruit of my poetry to the wife.
Do that to the wife, reverses to the wife. A lot of times to the becomes to the wife. Just note there another place where you could smooth things out a little bit if you'd like.
And so again, the opportunity to seduce the husband.
And again, some syllables here are getting a little bit lost.
To the wife. And so again, the opportunity to.
And so gain the opportunity.
Of my poetry to the wife. And so gain the opportunities.
And so gain the. I feel like that part there, the pitches are almost the same. So gain the. And so gain the. I would try to maybe just send everything down a little bit. And so gain the opportunity to seduce the husband. It's like and so gained and so gain the something like that. Just kind of move around the pitches a little bit more so things don't run together too much. We do need some more contrast. Would be a little helpful here.
and so gain the opportunity to
So again, opportunity. So once we get to opportunity, now we're adding some more contrast. Now we're adding some more pitch variation, which is great. So again, opportunity. Good. I like that progression there. That's a good movement. Very clear.
so gain the opportunity to seduce the husband.
Opportunity to seduce.
Opportunity to seduce the husband.
Seduce. Opportunity to seduce. We're kind of losing that first syllable on seduce again. So what we've seen a couple times in this section here, where some syllables are just kind of getting almost removed completely. Which is going to affect comprehension as well. It's like opportunity to seduce. I would read it that way. It's like opportunity to, and opportunity to, that's a great combination. That's a relatively frequent collocation there. So I would definitely practice saying opportunity to. Notice that that's a common way of kind of linking it with like a fast D sound and a reduced sound on two. So instead two becomes the opportunity to, and then you're going to do another schwa sound on sa. Opportunity to seduce, and then we'll go higher. Seduce, opportunity to seduce.
Wife, and so gain the opportunity to seduce the husband.
And then husband. I do think on husband.
Opportunity to seduce the husband.
It's a ha. I feel like you're giving me a almost getting into territory, like lock or stop. But again, you want a little bit more schwa sound somewhere. Husband. Husband. So just a note there. So instead of husband, more husband. Okay. All right, Shok, if there's anything there that is not clear, be sure to let me know. But thank you for sending this file. Lots of fire on this. That was right. We talk about sometimes people sounding flat and things like that. I don't think that's the case here. Lots of variation in pitches. So there are some places where we could do it even more. But I think the biggest thing here is just kind of watching out for some places where the syllables almost get lost. Okay. Thank you so much for sending that file. We, as always, appreciate it. Couple people stepped into the house. What's up, Zabeta? Great to see you, miss. Hope you're doing okay. Staying safe. What's the difference between recap, revise, and review?
Question.
Great question. Okay. So I'm going to start with the middle one, actually. So revise means like to edit or make changes to something to make it better, hopefully. Revise. So, for instance, you might revise a paper. Recap means to give a summary of something. So, for instance, like maybe one of your friends saw a movie that you haven't seen. You'd be like, hey, just give me a recap. Like, what happens in the movie? Just kind of tell me the major. It's like a summary. Summarize it for me. Give me the short form. And review means to like check something or to look it over. Okay, so for instance, if you submit an application for something, they'll say, thank you, we're going to review it. Okay, so we'll take a look at your application. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions there. Oh, wow. Guarda chi è entrato. Ciao, Danny. E da tanto. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing okay. Let us know what's going around for you. What are you doing for Christmas, man? How many people are you seeing? Like 40? Let's take a listen to this.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays, you decided to be here at the Schwa Mill with the most wonderful American English teacher. Merry Christmas, Geoff, and happy holidays, everyone.
You funny, huh? You funny. You are funny. Let me play this again. Hang on. Thank you, Zabeta. Thank you for asking that question earlier. Thank you for saying your kind words, sir.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays.
Out of all the places. So you're kind of stressing places. Oh, Orange makes a note too. This is their second live stream. He's seen many recordings. That's great. I'm glad you're sending us files. That's so. I'm always get excited when new people send us files. Or like people get new in the sense that they haven't sent files in the past, but now they're sending files. That's always exciting to see. And thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays, I would have actually just done one stress on that phrase. I would have stressed all. All is one of those words that very commonly, like all the blank, all the noun, Very often, not always, but very often, all is the word that gets stressed. Like all the time, or like all the places, all the people. It's just one of those words that's very often receives the stress. Okay? Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays, I wouldn't stress holidays.
Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays.
Because it's like you're kind of out of all the places you could be spending your holidays. So you're going to stress on places and holidays. But again, I would not stress holidays and I wouldn't stress places. Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays. And then also rising intonation, holidays. Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays, of all the places you could be spending your holidays, that's personally how I would read it. Okay. Mr. Go Big or Go Home is back. It has been a minute, sir. We applaud people who find their way back home to us. Great to see you once more. Sorry about Nightbot. Nightbot is not behaving. Bad Nightbot. Going back.
Your holidays. You decided to be here.
You decided to be here. You decided to be here. Not what I was expecting, but not wrong. You could stress here. You decided to be here with a falling intonation. You decided to be here. Like I was expecting that. You decided to be here. You decided to be here. With a really high pitch. You decided to be here. But that, that's a kind of a muted way of saying it if you keep the pitch lower. So I think it can still work and sound pretty natural doing that.
You decided to be here.
You decided to be here. You decided to be here. So I do think that works. It just wasn't what I was expecting.
Decided to be here. At the Schwa Mill. Out of all the places you could be spending your holidays. You decided to be here.
Yeah, in terms of like vowel sounds and things like that, I think everything's okay. I think the big thing was just kind of stress.
At the Schwa Mill.
At the Schwa Mill. At the Schwa Mill.
At the Schwa Mill.
At the Schwa Mill. At the Schwa Mill. I would have maybe gone a little higher as pitch on schwa. At the Schwa Mill. At the Schwa Mill. It's at the Schwa Mill. More at the Schwa Mill. You decided to be here. At the Schwa Mill. Something like that. I would just go a little higher on the pitch.
The Schwa Mill. With the most wonderful American English teacher.
With the most wonderful American English teacher. With the most wonderful American English teacher.
English teacher. Wonderful American English teacher.
The most something here. Wonderful American English teacher. With the most wonderful American English teacher. I would maybe go a little higher. I'll go a little higher pitch on teacher. This is almost like a 3 or 4 word group where you stress the first word a little bit, then you have your second and third word, and then your last word, raise the pitch just a little bit. Okay. Most wonderful American English teacher. Just go a little higher on pitch on teach. Most wonderful American English teacher.
Full American English teacher. Merry Christmas, Geoff.
Merry Christmas, Geoff. So like this sort of situation, like if you're saying like a greeting or something nice, like Merry Christmas, person, whoever you're talking to, you would expect that whoever you're talking to have a slightly higher pitch. Merry Christmas, blank. Merry Christmas, Geoff. So go a little higher on Geoff.
Merry Christmas, Geoff.
Otherwise, it can kind of sound a little sinister. Like, Merry Christmas, Geoff. Like, Merry Christmas, Geoff. Like, it sounds like, what are you going to do to me? So I would just make it sound a little friendlier, again, a little higher pitch.
Christmas, Geoff.
And often a rising intonation. Like, Merry Christmas, you. Like, rising intonation can also kind of soften that, make it sound a little friendlier as well. Okay?
And happy holidays, everyone.
Same thing there. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays, everyone. So very similar pattern that Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Geoff. And happy holidays, everyone. Like something like that, I think would be a more common pattern.
And happy holidays, everyone.
Instead of that falling intonation, lower pitches. Okay. So those would kind of be my big suggestions there. In terms of like actual sounds, I think it's pretty good. But I think the things that are going to help this sound even more natural are just some of those things related to pitch and choosing which words to stress.